discuss about probability sampling. So probability sampling. Right? Probability sampling means every sample in a population is having equal chance to be selected in the study, right? So that is called probability sampling. So before going to probability sampling, we need to know about what is this. There is terminology called population. Population means the entire data set which is to be studied, right? So the entire data set can be of the class, all of you in the class, right? So entire number of students which are there in the class or a semester, right? So this is population. If I draw some people out of that population, they are called as sample, right? So the difference between the population and sample should be should be understood. Sample is required in a smaller amount, right? You cannot study the entire area or you cannot study the entire population because your time is limited, your budget is limited, right? You have certain constraint. You have to finish within that time, right? So in order to do that, you have to select a small size. So that is called a sample, right? So in probability sampling, I usually we can again divide it into small section. Probability sampling can be of different types. So probability sampling could be if I write probability sampling. So this is my probability sampling. It can be of random type, right? Means no one knows who will be selected. So that is called random, right? All of a sudden, if I toss a coin, it may be head or tail, right? So this way of sampling is called random sampling. Like if I blindfold you and ask to select certain participant, it will be random sampling. Or if I make chits and ask the numbers, I take the numbers and select the participant, then it is also a random sampling, right? So again, it can be systematic. Right? Systematic means one after the other. Means I take A, B, C like this. Okay? If the gradation is from lower to high, higher to lower, or vice versa. So in the class itself, I ask you to stand in a row, right? And in the row, I select every second person. Second, fourth, sixth, eighth, like that. So on and so forth. So this is called a systematic sampling, right? Then we have stratified sampling. Stratified, what do you mean by stratified sampling? Stratified sampling is a sampling where I draw conclusion about the population, means all of you. Draw conclusion about all of you using certain sections, right? So I can divide your class based on, say, height, based on your intellectual or marks, right? I can divide the entire class based on your marks. Okay? Fair, average, brilliant, or extraordinary, I can divide them, right? I can divide your classes into boys and girls. So this is called a stratified sampling because I am dividing into a different classes, right? So this is called a stratified sampling. Now again, the last type of sampling which is there is called cluster. What do you mean by cluster? The word itself suggests that you are divided into certain clusters or groups, right? If I make a circular arrangement of you people, है ना, आपको बोलूँ कि you make a circle, and within that circle I divide you diagonally 1, 2. There will be 4 divisions within the diameter itself. There will be 4 divisions, one in this sector, one in the other sector, one in this sector, and one in the other sector. So this is called a cluster. Within that, I can draw the population conclusion using that cluster, right? So this is called a cluster. This making we have taken a group out of you randomly. So this is called cluster analysis, right? Okay then, the random sampling. Okay, Priyanka, you take 2 rounds. No? अब किसी को खींच लो अपने तरफ, किसी को भी फर्स्ट, अब बीच में आ जाओ. ओके, अब फिर घूमो.
थोड़ा बीच में आते हैं.
Yes. Again. No one there. फिर तुम इधर आगे. So we will discuss systematic sampling. And let us see how systematic sampling is done. So I will select every second person in the group. So this is called systematic because I call one by one. Systematic second. You are. You. Then you. Malika. Okay. So out of the entire population of the data which is there, I have selected 4 samples, right? And nobody knew who will be selected. It's my discretion that I have selected the every second. Similarly, I can select the third also, fourth also, based on the convenience, right? Based on the height, I am dividing the class. Second, you. Third, you. Fourth, you. Fifth, Priyanka. 6th here. Now I have chosen the sample based on the height of the class. Based on your heights, I have divided you, all of you, according to the size, means height of the class itself. So this is called stratified sampling, right? Any class. Again, I can use weight as a parameter also, right? All of you take the weight, and based on the weight, if I segregate, then also it is called stratified sampling. Cluster sampling. Cluster means I will divide the entire sample into different convenient groups. Like all of you are standing in a circle, right? How many of us? 12 of us, right? So let us divide 4 of you in group. 1, 2, 3, 4. You go that side. 4 that side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? This 4, you go that side. And you people go this side. Now it is based on my discretion that I can select you for the analysis, this sample for the analysis, or this sample for the analysis, or this sample for the analysis. So this is called cluster sampling. Understood?